Okay, Mr. Chairman, 6 o'clock and you have a quorum.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Hialeah Planning and Zoning Board meeting for Wednesday, November 18th? 19th, 2025. Everyone, please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity granted us here tonight. We ask that you please watch over us, enlighten us, and guide us tonight as we make these decisions for the city and the applicants. Amen. The applicants. And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated.
Meeting guidelines. The following guidelines apply to today's Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Any person interested in making comments or posing questions on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Individuals should be respectful of the Planning and Zoning Board members and make effort to speak moderate tone using appropriate language and avoiding personal attacks. The public can view the Planning and Zoning Board meetings on the city's YouTube page. All lobbyists must register with the Planning and Zoning Board prior to item being heard. A maximum of 4 speakers in favor and 4 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the Planning and Zoning Board on any item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Roll call. Mr. Perez?
Here.
Mr. Mason is absent. Mr. Iglesias?
Here.
Mr. Ulloa?
Here.
Mr. Morales?
Here.
Mrs. Enriquez is absent. We have a quorum. Summary minutes. Administration of oath to all applicants and anyone who will be speaking before the board on any item.
Anyone and everyone that's going to speak in front of the board, please stand, raise your right hand, and let's get you sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board? ¿Usted jura o afirma decir la verdad ante esta junta?
Okay, thank you. Let the record show the answer was on the affirmative. Do you have anyone in Zoom? No? Okay, thank you.
Summary minutes or a copy of the audio files of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the City Council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. LU1. Small-scale map amendment from low-density residential to transit-oriented development district. Properties are located at 1002 East 19th Street and 1012 East 19th Street. Hialeah zoned R1 one-family district. Applicant Cesar Mestre, Squire on behalf of 1002 East 19th Street LLC. So this item needs to be postponed until December 10th, 2025 meeting.
That is correct.
2021?
25th, 2025. December 9th, 2025.
Oh, next.
Yes,
25.
Okay,
we're still in 2025.
I know. I'm on 26 already. I do.
We
Okay.
really don't want it to go on 26, if that's
No.
possible.
Okay, so the item will be postponed until December 10th, 2025. So no action.
No action. Okay.
LU2, small scale map amendment from major institution and transportation and utilities to commercial. Properties identified by folio number 04-2035-001-0550 and a portion of approximately 160.13 feet by 295.07 feet, 1.8 acres of property located at 1550 West 60th Street. Hialeah zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district and R1, 1 family district. Applicant Manny Reos, architect on behalf of Westland Baptist Church, Inc.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Manny Rose, architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Thank you, sir.
This application pertains to the eastern side of the property located at 1550 West 60th Street and to the property identified with folio number 04-2035-001-0550. The property known as 1550 West 60th Street has an ongoing application to subdivide the property into two parcels, so the church can continue to operate on the western side of the property with its current land use designation. Therefore, only the eastern side is requesting the land use amendment from major institutions to commercial. The eastern side, once fully subdivided, will be approximately 47,219 square feet or 1.08 acres. And the southern parcel is approximately 47,916 square feet or 1.1 acres of land. In sum, the parcels requesting the land use amendments are approximately 2.18 acres of land. The properties on these applications are surrounded by low-density and single-family homes to the north, south, east, and west. In addition, commercial and major institutions are to the east and west of the properties. The character of the area is mainly single-family homes with West 16th Avenue as a major commercial corridor. AM Milan K through 8 grades and Spark Parks are within the vicinity as well. Currently, the vacant land is directly surrounded by 11 single-family homes and the church. Both parcels are currently under the ownership of Iglesia Bautista de Westland Inc. and Westland Baptist Church Inc., which also have a right-of-way easement agreement with FPL, according to Miami-Dade County Public Records, Book 3945, page 88. Therefore, the properties are currently vacant with several electrical utility poles on site. As mentioned above, the current land use are major institutions and transportation and utilities. Therefore, the northern portion is currently apt to potentially be a school or hospital, religious institution, or other governmental approved uses, and the southern portion is used for utilities. In addition, these areas known as the FPL easement were intensively reviewed under the city master plan to potentially create linear parks to increase the open space and safer pedestrian and bicyclist routes. It is important to clarify that these properties are privately owned. The applicant is requesting to amend the land use designation from major institution to and transportation and utilities to commercial. The proposed land use amendment for the southern portion is technically more impactful than the current land use designation. However, the northern portion has a major institution land use designation, which could potentially be redeveloped as a school or hospital or any other use designation. Be redeveloped with a school, hospital, or any other governmental related use. Since the applicant is seeking to develop the site as a commercial surface parking lot for trucks and recreational vehicles, no vertical structures are being proposed except for fencing, landscaping, since the FPL right-of-way easement imposed several restrictions on how to use the properties. The Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, annual average daily traffic, AADT, states that in 2024, the segment of 60th Street between West 16th and 12th Avenue carries a capacity of 22,000 vehicles, which is similar to a vehicle capacity of East 25th Street between East 8th Avenue and the eastern boundaries of the city. In terms of capacity and impacts, these properties are under pump station number 04-127 with an absolute moratorium. The level of service for parks, fires, and police will be evaluated during the site plan and concurrency process. All capacity has to be in place prior to any redevelopment proposals. And based on the staff analysis and recommendations, staff recommends approval conditioned upon the subdivision approval.
Thank you. Manny?
Yes, good evening. As Claudia explained, this basically is an FPL easement that is owned by the church to the west side, and we're designing an on-property parking that will basically have some commercial vehicles and entertainment vehicles and small trucks. We were basically generating a buffer between the properties on the east side and on the west side with plenty of landscaping, which I've discussed with the zoning department for their type of landscaping. And we're generating site lighting, special site lighting that will not basically generate any introduction of lighting into the properties with baffers and so forth, and basically pointing down as stated here on the details on the plan. We have two entrances, one on the north side, which is an in and out, and the one on the south side is basically for an emergency occurrence by the fire department. So the 99% of the vehicles will be coming in through the 60th Street, which is a more heavily populated with vehicles. And basically, we have a simple design, heavily landscaped, and hoping that the board reviews it and gives us an approval.
Thank you, Manny. Let the record show that Mrs. Enriquez has shown up. That train was something else, huh? I know, I got stuck in it too. Thank you, Manny. I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
The church owns that easement
Yes, sir.
or they lease it?
No, they own it. FPL leases it to do their high tension lines. I was very surprised
Yeah,
when I did my research.
because I mean, it's usually the other way around.
Yes.
Usually FPO owns
Yes.
the right of way, the land, and
I
then
have
they-
a feeling that those high tension lines were put in after, God knows how long. I think this goes back like 60 or 70 years or more. So maybe those high tension lines were not there. So at some point, the developers for the church made an agreement or something. I don't have that. And of course, that line runs north-south
Mm,
on that corridor. So it must have been an implemented thing that you either say yes or yes.
yeah, because I know, you know, my background in technical and all of that, and utilities and
Yes.
easements and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's for the most part, the FPL, mainly FPL, owns the easements, and then they sublet it or rent it out or whatever for.
In this case, it's
And there's
different.
plenty of places
Yes.
where they do convert them to what you're trying to
Yes.
do here to.
If you go further north of 68th Street and so forth, and a little bit south, there's other parcels that have been
Mhm.
developed like this. They're not well kept as we're going to keep this, or as my client is going to keep this, but they are still there in place and being used.
Okay, interesting.
So if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them.
Any comments or questions on the board?
Through the chair?
Yeah.
Well kept, you're gonna have a buffering all the way around?
Oh, yeah, we have landscaping and we have a 6-foot chain link fence and heavily landscaped on both the east side and the west side.
That
and the
way,
north side.
that way we'll not be able to see from the street.
It would,
Keep it
well, it
away.
would buffer it until the plants take growth, but you know, they were planted at a certain height.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Any comments or questions?
Yeah,
from the-
question,
Yes, sir. Isn't that one? No.
Well, if you live underneath it, you may want to reconsider that from all the EMI that comes out of it. But if it's just a matter of parking or, I know several that use it for like, RVs,
Yes.
boats, trucks, what have you,
Small trucks.
storage, if you will.
Yes.
So,
What this does is also it cleans up a lot of the areas.
right.
Cleans it up. Find, you go drive up and down in different locations, not just Hialeah, different locations, you see boats parked in the front and blah,
Yeah.
blah. So this basically is an enhancement. It will be definitely an enhancement for the immediate community.
so this is gonna be, people could rent parking space from me, let's say if I have a boat.
Yes, sir.
I could bring my boat in and pay.
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
I think that's a very good idea.
Now, are you gonna be having events there because it's behind the
No.
church? It's because
No.
sometimes we have events.
We
like
segregated a
clubs.
little bit of the area to the west, which is not part of this, where they're eventually going to expand. They've contacted us to expand the parking, and there's going to be like a sitting gazebo area outside this property. Then there'll be a gate, a pedestrian gate from here. If you want to do something or whatever, you go to the west and use that facility.
So this is gonna be open 24 hours a day, or is it gonna be limited access like a storage? unit?
I don't have an answer for that, but I have a feeling it could be open 24 hours a day as long as you have the codes to get in.
Through the chair, yes, in the zoning application, the applicant submitted a letter of intent and this is going to be restricted.
Yes.
So, mhm.
And another thing that we're doing here, which a lot of places don't do, is we have a stacking area along 60th Street. So we got like 40 to 60 feet coming in, so there'll be 2 or 3 vehicles inside the property getting in rather than stopping traffic outside.
That's a good idea.
Another idea that we came up with, and these are things that we have to do. We run it through fire already, Rick Gonzalez, our friend, and he has no problem as long as they have access through the south area, which will be they'll have signs, only exit for fire department.
This question may be a little redundant, but just bear with me. Have they come up with future usage, like what vehicles are they going to have there, or just
I know
general?
that my clients are very selective, very exclusive clients that we do a lot of projects in Hialeah for. This is their first venture into this field, and they're already doing their research. It's not going to be a mom and pop operation. It's going to be very heavily restricted as to who uses what and how it's kept, their maintenance crews, et cetera, et cetera. Fully landscaped, fully irrigated, fully lit, et cetera.
And the reason I'm asking this, and again, at the risk of being repetitive, in my years of, my previous life, I've had to work on those FPL easements many, many times. And when they get converted or leased out to storage, parking, what have you, I've seen them where they tend to start storing commercial vehicles like dump trucks, rigs and whatnot, and they start a repair shop
No,
in there. And,
no,
you get
no.
grease and noise and
FPL is very involved with my clients as to what their radiuses are around the poles, what can be there and cannot be there. Because I've already seen those documents that they're dealing with.
well,
FPL is
I'm talking to you from personal experience.
Okay.
I've had to navigate around those old trucks and whatnot to get to the poles to do my services, and it hasn't been easy. Go ahead, Mr. Iglesias.
Is that gonna be security in the area at all times, cameras and all that?
I'm
or
sure there'll be
to
cameras.
be able to keep?
Yes, I am sure the cameras will be there. We're not allowed to do any type of structure on the site. And we're also, by the way, doing a handicap spaces
Okay.
with a pedestrian flow to the 60th Street, which
Okay.
was an idea that is not really required, but we threw it in as architects for the
Okay.
project.
Okay.
You had a question, ma'am?
Yes, I came in a little bit late. So
Okay.
just to understand, this is the church that owns the land and they're
Yes.
gonna build a parking lot that they're gonna rent the spaces to the people who
The
have
church
RVs.
the church owns the land
Oh, okay.
and it's got a lease with FPL who has their high tension power lines and the big concrete poles. And my clients have the church and them got together and they created a contract or whatever, and they're going to run this place for themselves, and I guess pay a lease agreement to the church.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Manny. Anyone else?
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Se van a parquear, you know, 18-wheelers and stuff like that? are gonna be-
No, sir. No, sir. No 18-wheelers. They're going to be like boats and small trucks.
No
and
dump trucks or anything like that? Because
dump
where-
trucks. I don't believe we're going to have any dump trucks there.
Where I live, there's those type of parking lots,
No.
and it's detrimental to the traffic.
First of all,
It really is.
the turning radiuses for the dump truck and the spaces for the dump truck, we don't have.
Yeah, okay.
So
Because where I live at, the Las Ratras, the big 18-wheelers come out, and they come out in droves at a time.
no, there's no.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. And
Okay.
if it needs to be in writing to the zoning department, it will be in writing. And I'm not even looking back to my client. I know them long enough to respond for them.
Whenever we get to the zoning application, we'll discuss the restrictions that we had, requested.
Yeah, there should be a restriction on some type of vehicles because like those 18-wheelers on that area will cause a lot of traffic.
No.
Especially pulling out and pulling in. That would cause traffic. That's my only concern.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience have a comment or question? Step up here, please. Need your name and address for the record, please?
Oh, this is my first time. My name is Margarita Caraballo. I live at 5830 West 14th Lane. The property that will be right adjacent to to this debacle that's happening. And I've been a resident of Hialeah for over 30 years. I'm a longtime Hialeah resident, and my home will be negatively impacted by this proposed zoning change. The zoning change from a residential district, a quiet residential district, to a C2 liberal retail commercial district is an abomination. On June 24th, I attended the city hall meeting here to address this parking lot issue because I already had heard rumors about this. And I have been inquiring to the city council since February 11th on this particular issue. There's about 15 homes that are directly impacted by this zoning change. And the only one who stands to benefit from this is the Westland Baptist Church and whatever developers or clients that Manny has. This is a massive project installing about 81 parking spaces to replace a green space and destroying a residential neighborhood. This is what the lot looks like now, nice and clean, mowed, quiet, and it's going to become, this is Hialeah, we know what it's going to turn into. Their impacts to health, safety, welfare, and the aesthetics of the community need to be taken into consideration. It's going to reduce our property values. Our homes are a nest egg. It's going to be a safety issue with the coming and going of vehicles and individuals, and probably with all these alleyways, there could be maybe homeless people coming in, you never know. It's an environmental issue. There's pipelines located there, and the green space, there's going to be no green space. It could be spilling of oil, trash, exhaust fumes. Aesthetically, parking lot versus homes. There could be probably potential illegal dumping, which is already an issue in that area. There's going to be noise, the coming and going of vehicles, radios, conversations, increased traffic, and also a flooding issue, which is one of the most important things. I've lived there over 30 years, and all these major storms and major rainstorms that flood streets here in Hialeah, we've never had a flooding issue because the water collects in that particular lot. In these major storms, when there's been all this flooding and all over, it looks like I have a lakefront home because the water collects there. And also there's no drainage in the streets in that area. So if that becomes concrete, what's going to happen? Where's the water going to go? So if also in this particular, have they done a floodplain management report to see how it might affect us? I guess my time is up.
Thank you.
And also the stress on the infrastructure.
Thank you. Manny?
Yes.
I know it's a little early for drawings and planning and designs and stuff. What's going to be the deal with the drainage?
Drainage is going to be as required by the City of Hialeah, Water and Sewer and Streets Department, Public Works actually, and it's going to have underground French drains like every parking space that we design. That's coming forward in the construction documents, not at this stage.
Okay, right. I know.
And it'll be properly designed, or we've got a great team, so
I know.
I'm not worried.
I brought it up just to kind of like ease her concerns a little bit, that there is. Let me give you a little side note here. This gentleman here and this other gentleman at the end here, the one with the receding hairline. When they design and build projects, they go above and beyond what the requirements are to make sure that the neighborhood is improved. Property values go up. That's why I'm sure you heard me talking to him about trucks, repairs, noise, because I've had firsthand experience in many FPL easements And you do know that we will suggest some kind of restricted covenant as far as operations and maintenance and cleanliness and all of that. Okay, if this goes through. It has to do with the board. Okay,
You got it.
thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Name and address, please.
Osmel Cusa, 5865 West 14 Lane. I have lived there since 1990. And what I want to say is that if this project goes through, it's going to change the neighborhood. On 60th, you have two lanes going from west to east, and the same going the other way. You have Gracianos on the corner of 60 and 16. You have a small shop. They don't have enough parking, and what they do is a truck parks on the street in order to unload for the store, the Argentinian store, and it becomes one lane. You also have Milam Elementary diagonally across, and that's a school zone right there. And the traffic is only 15 in a school zone. So the traffic is going to be horrendous. And what about the noise? Because the trucks, they're not quiet. And we live in a residential area. This would change our neighborhood from a very residential to a commercial. And it's not going to help the values of our properties or the quality of living. Our city is becoming way, way, way too congested. When they opened 60th Avenue to allow the traffic, because there was a lot of traffic on 49 and 68, they opened 60th. Speak to the principal on Milam and see how that has affected that school zone. As it is, when I come during around between 2 and 3, from the west side to the east, there's a line that backs up all the way from Milam all the way to just before 24th Avenue. It's really bad because I go to the Publix, and when the parents are trying to pick up their kids, it becomes one lane. And it took me one time to get to my house over 45 minutes. So this is not going to help our quality of life in Hialeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
I have a small comment to make. This is going to be a storage place for vehicles. This is not going to be an in and out where you go in and buy something at the Publix and park and leave and come back. This is a storage facility. That's what everybody, I guess, is missing the boat on that end.
Okay, all right, anyone else would like to make a comment?
Yeah.
If any comments you need to come up to the mic here and. Yeah.
Can I make?
You had your turn. Okay, we need to swear you in. Raise your right hand, please.
Hi,
Hi.
Do
Swear me.
you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board?
I swear.
Okay, your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Julio and I live on 5959 West 14th Lane. My father owns the property, and I've lived there for about 5 years. And I can tell you for sure, this is a community of very nice, kind, well-meaning people. I've gotten the chance to meet them recently talking about this. This is not going to benefit the community whatsoever. Nobody on the street owns a boat or a big truck or anything that would allow us to benefit from this. And John, you said it yourself, you have something in your neighborhood similar, and it has very much negatively affected your experience there. So this is your opportunity to do something right for people that have been living here quietly, peacefully, and are at your mercy with this. I don't think I need to say anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
He could have conceded his time to her if if he still has time left.
No, it's 4, 1, 2, 3. No, it's, see, you used up some of your time. Now, had you at the beginning volunteered your time to her, then it would have been okay. But since you used up your time, she used up her time, it's, no, that's, sorry.
So we tend to follow the same rules as the city council, and we don't allow sharing of time. So one person is entitled their 3 minutes, and if that person wants to use their 3 minutes, they're entitled to their 3 minutes. But one person cannot give, 4 people cannot give one person 3 minutes, and one person have 12 minutes to speak. So each person has 3 minutes to speak, and they are entitled to use that time how they see fit.
Thank you. Okay. We have one more person. If you want to come up and say something. Okay, close to the bar public hearing. Manny, do you want to say something else?
No, I just want to say that we're trying to do something for the area. Apparently the people that have spoken don't interpret that way, but we want to create a facility that will help people. I mean, you're not going to live 10 miles away from here and bring your boat in or your car in or your whatever, and it's got to be within the radius of the area. That's the way that these facilities usually work. So that's all I have to say. I don't know if anybody else has any more questions. John, do you have any
I
more
do.
questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Elise.
Manny,
Yes, sir.
is this, as long as you said at the beginning, is it gonna be on writing that people cannot do any mechanics there? It's
Yes.
just storage.
Yes.
You leave your boat
Yes.
or you leave your RV.
Yes. Correct.
Disconnect and go.
Correct. Yes.
That's the way it's gonna be.
No, no big trucks, no
Nope.
big rigs.
No, they won't fit. They
Okay.
can't get in and out.
That is my main concern. If it's not gonna be any type of working in
No.
there, fixing,
No.
the oil change, all those things. So-
That will be written into a consent agreement with the city,
That's,
with the zoning department. It
that is
has
my-
to be.
that is my concern. And I'm really glad that you said that it's gonna be on writing,
Yes.
that they cannot
Yes.
do
It's-
that there.
It's a benefit for the business.
Okay. We need to make sure that we make note of his voluntary restrictions and the law department and staff will sit down and word it right where he can agree and property owner can agree, and then, we'll hold you to it.
Just as a, through the
Yes.
chair, just as a point of clarification, we are dealing right now with the land use.
Yes.
The only condition in the land use is that the subdivision of the land, it's continued and completed, okay? Whenever we go through the zoning, then we'll, elaborate and talk about all the conditions and that they have been established.
Do you all understand that?
We,
Okay, go ahead.
So this application, it's considering the land use of the land. Okay, as you mentioned, currently, there are 2 land uses in this area. One is a mayor's institution, and mayor's institutions allowed for a school, a public school, for hospitals, for any government, facility. So in a way, potentially, okay, it can be something even more than just a parking for recreational vehicles. The other land is transportation and utilities, okay? So transportation, technically, you can have other uses as well, okay? By being commercial and having all the restrictions that the FPL lines actually including there, that's why staff consider that this surface parking lot with not vertical, you're not going to have anything besides a wall that we are considering requesting for it,
fence.
a physical masonry wall and landscaping on the wall. You're not going to have any other structures. So this is the land use that we're dealing. You have a second round, so don't go where we're going to be discussing the zoning aspects of it. Okay.
One more question, if you don't mind, through the chair. The flooding aspect is another thing that I was concerned about too. Is there a study done for the flooding? Because I'm familiar with that area. I have family that live in that area. And yeah, that back part does turn into like a lake when it rains. Because all the water does pour into that area. And my concern is a French drain is not gonna do very much to control the flood.
No, and probably, not probably, they will have to go through DERM, not
Yeah.
only just to Public Works and a street, they're gonna have to go through the county to submit all that drainage calculations and improvements and everything. So they will have to be deeper analysis and everything whenever they go through the building permit process.
Okay.
What's usually done, John, so you would understand is, when we go into the construction document phase, we would order a percolation test, which is required, various tests. And then our civil engineer digests that and designs a system for percolation of the rainwater to make sure that there is no, that it can absorb it. So if the drain has to be different for whatever reason, based on the dictation of the percolation test, it will have. And then not only that, but like Claudia said, it has to go to DERM and it has to go to different facilities or control facilities that are very strict as to what can be done and cannot be done.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. That being said, if there's any more questions from the board, if not, then what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve
Are we gonna put condition? Well, this is just for the
with the
land,
condition
for the
that they
land
all
use.
have to be
Of the land.
correct.
So
We have a motion.
we have a motion from Mr. Iglesias.
Do we have a second? We have a motion from Mr. Iglesias. Can we have a second going twice?
So
Okay,
the motion fails at the
Motion
pleasure of the board.
fails. alrighty, so. Does anybody want to make another motion?
Motion to deny?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to deny.
We had a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Yua. Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
yes to deny?
To deny. Well, I already voted, so yes to approve, but it's what it is.
Well, excuse me, if, while we're still on your vote, you can't change your
I
vote.
still stand,
Well-
I still stand for my vote.
Okay,
Okay, so,
but one, because once we leave you, you're,
I still stand for my
okay,
vote.
good.
so. Yes. Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
No.
Mr. Yua,
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
No,
Okay, motion passed.
So the
The
motion,
item has been denied.
so it'll go to the city council with a recommendation of denial.
okay. Thank you. All right, we are done with the land use part of the meeting. We're gonna go ahead and open up the regular planning and zoning part of the meeting.
Item number 1, approval of planning and zoning board summary agenda of October 29th, 2025 as submitted.
Motion to approve?
Second that motion.
We had a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Yua. Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Yua,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Item has been approved. A written decision and resolution will be prepared and presented for review to the city council. The city council is authorized to affirm with conditions or override the decisions by resolution. After the resolution is adopted, contact the member of the city clerk's office to obtain a copy of the final decision and resolution. Upon your receipt of the final decision and resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit. Summary minutes or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the city council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the city council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Item number 2, final decision to allow rear setback of 8.5 feet or 20 feet are required for a proposed aluminum terrace. The property is located at 6120 East 4th Avenue, Hialeah Zones R1, One Family District. Applicant Joel Gonzalez and George Figueredo Alcolea.
Postpone item from, okay, so this is a table item or?
No, this is not table.
Yes,
It was just
so it's open.
from last meeting to this meeting, so.
Mr. Gonzalez? Name and address, please.
Joel González, 6120 y 4 Avenidas, Hialeah, Florida, 33003.
Ok. Obviamente en español.
Sí, gracias.
Ok. Ella se lo va a leer en inglés. Después se lo traduce al español.
Ok.
Cuando usted vaya a las preguntas que se le hagan a usted y usted como cuando responda, por favor mantenga las respuestas cortas para que ella pueda traducir, no sea una ametralladora, porque pierde el hilo. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yo.
And I've just basically informed him to, just be courteous because we do have to translate it. So.
The property in this application is located on the northwest corner of the intersection of East 61st Street and East 4th Avenue. The lot is approximately 6,300 square feet or 0.14 acres. The site is improved with a 1,886 square foot single-family home originally built in 1968, according to Miami-Dade County Property Appraisal records. The property is designated as low-density residential on the city's future land use map. The zoning classification is R1, one family district, which is consistent therewith. The applicant is before the city requesting approval of a proposed 493 square feet aluminum terrace, which proposes a rear setback of 8.5 feet where 20 feet are required. A review of the city microfilms records indicate that several prior improvements were permitted, including a floor room addition to the rear of the existing structure under permit number 1971-14042, installation of an aluminum dura fence and aluminum gates under permit number BLDR 004218-2023, and a partial demolition for a 10 feet by 10 feet shed under permit number BLDR 004060 was approved on May 12, 2025, but remains pending payment and pickup. Records also indicate that a building permit for an addition of a bedroom and bathroom was submitted in 2021 under permit number 2021-12605. However, it was never approved, and its current status shows as canceled. During the review of the submitted plans and survey, staff observed that the existing terrace and an addition at the rear of the property were constructed without the benefit of a building permit. Staff met with the property owner on October 21st, 2025, to inform the applicant of the multiple constructions built without permits. The owner was informed that although the property was purchased in its current condition, a review of the microfilms record revealed that the addition and terrace must be legalized under a separate permit application. Also, the submitted site plan does not include a zoning legend with pervious areas, calculations, and setback dimensions. The site plan must be revised to demonstrate compliance with the minimum pervious area requirements of 30%, approximately 1,890 square feet. Given that the required rear setback is 20 feet and the proposed aluminum terrace provides 8.5 feet, staff finds that the reduced setback does not negatively impact the adjacent properties, as the structure is not built to the property line and complies with the required interior side and street setback. Staff recommends approval of the request to approve the proposed aluminum terrace with the proposed rear setback reduction, subject to the following conditions. 1, applicant must apply for a building permit to legalize the existing rear addition and terrace. The site plan must demonstrate compliance with the minimum 30% of pervious areas requirement and include a zoning legend and setback dimensions prior to receiving final approvals from the Planning and Zoning Division. The proposed aluminum terrace must remain open at all sides. The partial demolition for the 10 feet by 10 feet shed must be picked up and the structure is to be removed. Therefore, staff recommends approval with conditions. Ahora se lo voy a leer en español, ¿ok?
Gracias.
La propiedad en esta aplicación está en el noroeste, en la esquina del noroeste de la intersección de la 61 de calle del este y la 4 avenida del este. El lote es aproximadamente 6,300 pies cuadrados o 0.14 acres. El lote está desarrollado con una casa unifamiliar de 1,886 pies cuadrados y fue originalmente construida en 1968 basado en los récords del Miami-Dade County. La propiedad está designada con un uso con un land use designation de de baja densidad residencial en el mapa de la ciudad del uso futuro de la tierra, y la zonificación es R1, que es unifamiliar, y son consistentes. El aplicante está enfrente de la ciudad pidiendo una aprobación para una propuesta de 493 pies cuadrados para una terraza de aluminio, y que tiene una propuesta de un setback de una, ay, se me olvidó la palabra setback, de una separación la parte de la línea de propiedad trasera de 8.5 pies, donde 20 pies son requeridos. La ciudad revisó los récords anteriores de de la propiedad, y han habido varios permisos que se han dado a la propiedad. Hubo una adición de un Florida Room en la parte de atrás, bajo el permiso número 1971-14042. Hubo una instalación de una cerca con sus puertas bajo el permiso número BLDR 004218-2023, y también hubo una aplicación para demoler un shed de 10 pies por 10 pies cuadrados bajo el número del permiso BLDR 004060, que fue aprobado en mayo 12 del 2025, pero está pendiente, no se ha pagado y no se ha recogido. También se indicó que hubo un permiso para una adición de un cuarto y un baño que fue sometido en el año 2021 bajo el permiso número 2021-12605, pero que nunca fue aprobado y está actualmente cancelado. Durante nuestra revisión de los planos, nosotros, el staff, se dio cuenta que hay una terraza existente y una adición existente en la parte de atrás de la propiedad que fueron construidos sin el beneficio de un permiso de construcción. El staff se juntó con el dueño de la propiedad en octubre 21, 2025. Se le informó al aplicante de todas las construcciones que encontramos sin tener un permiso de construcción. El dueño fue informado, y aunque la propiedad fue comprada de esa manera, tenemos que legalizar, el aplicante, el dueño de la casa, tiene que legalizar bajo permisos de construcción separados toda esa construcción. Los planos sometidos tienen que incluir una leyenda que incluya todos los requerimientos del código de zonificación, las calculaciones, los retiros, todas las dimensiones, y tiene que también demostrar que tiene que tener un mínimo de área verde de un 30%, que son aproximadamente 1.890 pies cuadrados. Basado en que la separación de la parte de atrás son 20 pies, para la propuesta de la terraza de aluminio, y el aplicante está proveyendo 8.5 pies, staff encuentra que la reducción no va a afectar negativamente a los vecinos, y como no está construida la línea de la propiedad, está bien que haga la reducción de los setbacks. Staff también le está sugiriendo, le está recomendando ciertas condiciones. Uno, que el aplicante sumita un permiso de construcción para legalizar la adición de la parte de atrás y la terraza existente. Que los planos tienen que demostrar el 30% de las áreas verdes, y tienen que incluir una leyenda de todos los requerimientos del código de zonificación y todas las dimensiones. Que la terraza que está proponiendo, que tiene que mantenerse abierta en todos los lados. Y que la demolición para el shed, que la tiene que terminar, tiene que venir a pagar y recoger el permiso, y obviamente remover el shed. Con todas esas recomendaciones, staff le recomienda aprobación.
Ok, gracias.
Thank you. Let the record show that Mr. Mason is on board. Welcome. That train got you too, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. ¿Entendió?
Sí, gracias.
Si usted quiere, se le puede entregar la recomendación para que,
Sí.
porque son bastantes condiciones que le... Ok. ¿Comentarios?
No,
¿Preguntas?
está bien así.
¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
The applicant has no comments.
Comments or questions from the board?
Can we just confirm that he accepts all the conditions in Spanish, please?
¿Usted entendió las condiciones que
Sí.
pusieron y las acepta todas?
Sí, las acepto.
Yeah, he understands and he accepts the conditions.
Por eso le ofrecí una copia de que, pero ella se la facilita.
Sí, ella me la...
Si no, yo le doy la mía, no hay problema.
No, está bien, gracias.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that offering him the plan's recommendation. All right, comments or questions from the board? Anyone in the audience? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve
Second.
with conditions.
So we had a motion by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mr. Morales. Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Gracias.
Wait a minute, when does he have to come back?
Usted tendría que regresar enero 13, 2026 al consejo. Yes.
Okay. No, ahora que va a empezar la fiesta.
Item number 3. Final decision to allow an interior east side setback of 5.84 feet or 7.5 feet are required for the existing addition to the main residence to be legalized. To allow the street side setback of 7.5 feet or 15 feet are required for an existing addition proposed to be converted into one-car garage and storage room. To allow an interior east side setback of 4.41 feet or 7.5 feet are required for an existing 148 square foot gazebo to be legalized. And to allow a distance separation of 7.25 feet between the gazebo and the main structure, where a minimum of 10 feet are required. Property is located at 100 East 37th Street, Hialeah Zones R1, One Family District. Applicant, Manny Reos Architect, on behalf of Reynaldo Pedraza Acosta.
Yes, good evening, Manny Rose Architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Evening.
This application, just to begin with, is for a property that you already heard it in March 2025. Okay. So this lot is located in the southeast corner of East 37th Street and East First Avenue intersection. According to city record, the lot is approximately 10,350 square feet and was improved with a one-story single-family home in 1955. A west side carport and a Florida room were built with proper building permits in 1960, and a pool was permitted to be built in 1970s. In 2000, the applicant received a final decision approval number 00-0002 for a carport in the front yard, and the west side carport conversion to a garage. The 2000 plans reflected the removal and reduction of 2 aluminum roofs because they were built without the benefit of a permit. The plan also called for the correction of side setbacks and the removal of a portion of concrete slab to provide for the minimum of 2 feet side setback for drainage. The property has received several code enforcement cases over the years, primarily for work conducted without building permits. The latest is under complaint ID number 2019-04435, which includes several irregularities of constructions without the required building permits. This application's survey reflects several items built without the benefit of a building permit. The following lists the pending items: a west side garage expansion with an aluminum roof, and an east side master bedroom addition, and an attached south terrace with an aluminum roof, and a pool deck with several concrete slabs throughout the property, and an east side carport, and a detached enclosed rear structure with an open gazebo. The property owner presented another application in March 2025, where staff provided a series of comments to satisfy the minimum zoning code requirements. This application proposes several improvements from the March 2025 submittal, starting with the demolition of the detached enclosure rear structure and demolition of the east side carport and terrace. These items were the most impactful to neighboring properties since the setback of some of these structures did not exist. The applicant is also proposing to legalize several other structures where setback reductions are required to be processed. The following items are being requested to reduce the setbacks. The master bedroom addition was built at 5.84 feet of the interior side setback, where 7.5 feet is required. And the garage expansion with the storage room addition was built at 7.5 feet, where 15 feet are required. And the southeast open gazebo was built at 4.41 feet of the interior side setback and only separated at 7.25 feet from the main structure, where the minimum interior side setback is 7.5 feet and separation at 10 feet. In addition, this application is proposing the removal of several concrete slabs throughout the property to comply with the minimum green space. However, the plans are only proposing to achieve 27% of green area. Therefore, staff recommends to meet the minimum of 30% of green open space to satisfy the pervious areas within the property, since there is plenty of concrete or impervious areas that can be converted to green areas. Since the applicant has been addressing the comments received from staff and from the Planning and Zoning Board, staff recommend the following conditions: that the property owner obtains building permits to address all the structures built without permits and the property is improved according to the plans prepared by Manny Rios Architect, signed and sealed on September 19, 2025, with the exception of the open space calculations, and that the property meets the minimum 30% of green and open space, and that the property owner enters into a declaration of use stipulating that the property is to be used as a single-family home with one kinship facility only. Recommendation: approval with conditions as stated above.
Thank you. Manny?
Yes, good evening again. Basically, on the open space, Claudia, that's already been achieved. We've already got a demo permit. Demo permit, Alex was already obtained, and it's already being worked on, and I'm gonna stop by twice a week. This gentleman who's sitting back there is usually don't do this kind of work, but we're trying to help people out, so we're on board to help him out. So basically, where are we at with this? Demo permit has been obtained. The demo construction has started. And as far as the open space, we've already established that once we submit the construction docs, we will not be requiring a variance for open space because we're meeting the open space during the demolition. So I just want to make sure you understand that, please. The setbacks and all that, that's all been discussed by Claudia. And that's all I have to say. This is a small project, but it's challenging. Nobody wanted to help the gentleman, and we stepped in and we're trying to remedy, and we start and we finish. So it will be finished. Give you my word on that, and that's basically it. So if anybody has any questions, please, more than glad to answer them.
Thank you, Manny. Comments or questions from the board?
Through the chair.
Yes.
The demolition is for that structure in the back?
There's one structure which borders the south portion all the way in the back that's being demoed 100%. That's already part of the demolition permit package.
Okay, and what else needed to be removed from there?
What else?
I'm looking at the Google.
Well,
Map.
there's a canvas, there's an aluminum canvas on the left side that's being removed. The garage is being mostly removed, and we're redesigning a one-car garage rather than what they had. The covered terrace is encroaching into the 5-foot setback for the pool, blah, blah. All that stuff is being taken care of.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the audience have a comment or question? Close to the part of public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion?
So
What was that?
With the conditions.
With the conditions.
Yes, sir.
Apologize.
So motion by Mr. Morales, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mrs. Enrique,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Morales.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you.
The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at a scheduled meeting of Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Item number 4, amendments to City of Hialeah Ordinance Number 2024-072 to allow the street side setback of 0 feet where 10 feet built to line are required, and to allow 10.17% pervious area where 30% is the minimum required, and to allow partial waiver of minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation as per section 98-2235 for the construction of a mixed-use 8-story development consisting of 21 residential units and approximately 1,781 square feet of commercial space. Properties are located at 805 Home Avenue and 11 East 8th Street. Hialeah zoned CR, Commercial Residential District within the Neighborhood Business District MBD overlay. Applicant Cesar Mestre, Squire on behalf of 11 East A Street LLC.
Cesar Mestre with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida.
Thank you.
The properties are located at the northeast corner of Palm Avenue and 8th Street and are composed of 2 platted lots. The lots are currently improved with a 2-story commercial building with parking lots towards the north and east of the commercial building. The commercial building, as it currently stands, was built in 1982 according to city records. The property received a special use permit approval to expand the neighborhood business district NBD with variances related to the size of the residential units, waiver of the building mass and frontage, and reduction of the pervious areas. The approval was granted according to ordinance number 2024-072 adopted on June 24, 2024. As part of the approval, a declaration of restriction was recorded according to CFN 2025-0771018 in the Miami-Dade County Clerks of Courts, and no amendments are required to the existing declaration of restrictions. The project has submitted site plan and concurrency according to the applications number SP-000338-2024 and CON-000-337-2024. Therefore, the project is moving along with the redevelopment requirements. However, the applicant reached out regarding an FPL conflict with the north side of the property. There are currently overhead electrical wires and poles within the north side of the property servicing adjacent properties, and the previously approved design proposed a 0 north setback and a 0 north side setback and a 10-foot south side setback as permitted and required by the MBD regulations. As stated in the applicant's letter of intent, this application is requesting a south side setback reduction of 0 feet where 10 feet are required. The applicant is stating that the request is made due to the FPL request to provide a north side 10-foot easement, therefore shifting the building southwards. Since the setback reduction is towards the street, no neighboring properties are being affected by the shifting of the building. Even though the request is encapsulating within the property, the East 8th Street elevation becomes crucial since no area to provide for landscaping to soften the structures into the corner will be available. The south building elevation proposes a perforated metal screen from the 2nd to the 4th floor. This improvement becomes crucial to reduce the closeness to the wall to the street. Therefore, this improvement shall be required and maintained, and no engineering value shall affect such a street elevation treatment. Since the envelope of the project, the uses, density, and parking, and no other components are being modified from the regional project approval, except for the southern side setback reduction, staff evaluates the request positively. Recommendation approval.
Thank you, Claudia. Cesar?
I have a PowerPoint, which is the presentation I used before, but I think I'm going to skip it and get to the bottom line. This is exactly the same building that was already approved. The declarations have been recorded. It's the same size, same units, same parking. The problem was when they started to do the construction documents, et cetera, they found out that there's an FPL easement on the north side. So all we're asking is to shift the building 10 feet to the front. As Claudia said, it's not affecting any of the neighbors. That's where the street is. So that's the ask, and that's why it's just an amendment to something that's already been approved. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? All right, it's a pleasure, the board.
Motion to approve. Second the motion.
Okay, so we had a motion by Mr. Ulloa and second by Mr. Iglesias.
That was
I'm sorry.
Mr. Mason.
Mr. Mason, I'm sorry. So motion by Mr. Mason, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yeah.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Item has been approved. Okay, so item number 5 is the companion application to the LU1 that was postponed until December 10th, 2025 meeting. Would you like for me to read it into the record?
Just the end.
Okay, so the address is 1002 East 19th Street and 1012 East 19th Street. Okay, so
No
so no
action?
action. This will be postponed until December 10th, 2025.
Okey-doke.
Item number 6, rezoning properties located at 1780 East Fourth Avenue and 375 East 17th Street from R2, 1 and 2 Family Residential District to B1 Highly Restricted Retail District. Conditional use permit to allow a K through 12th grade private school with a maximum capacity of 272 students in conjunction with a 14 children daycare. Variance permit to allow 51 parking spaces where 57 parking spaces are required, and to allow the existing dumpster enclosure to be 1 foot from the right-of-way facing East 18th Street, where 10 feet is the minimum required. Properties are located at 375 East 17th Street, 1702 East 4th Avenue, 1780 East 4th Avenue, and 1750 East 4th Avenue. Highly zoned R2, 1 and 2 Family Residential District, and B1 Highly Restricted Retail District. Applicant Cesar Mestre, Esquire on behalf of DP Real Estate Holdings LLC.
Cesar Mestre with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida. With me today is Demetrio Perez, who is the owner of Lincoln Marti Schools.
This application encompasses 4 parcels of land owned by DP Real Estate Holdings LLC and 375 East 17th Street LLC. All, despite the different corporate names, are registered under the same owner, Demetrio J. Perez. The property's boundaries are East 18th Street to the north, East 17th Street to the south, and East 4th Avenue to the east. The total combined area of the 4 parcels is 1.08 acres. The property in this application is located the property is known as 1750 East 4th Avenue and 1702 East 4th Avenue have commercial land use and B1 zoning, therefore consistent. The property is known as 1780 East 4th Avenue and 375 East 17 have a commercial and major institution land use and R2 zoning. Therefore, these 2 properties are requesting a rezoning to B1 to be consistent. In addition, since the property known as 375 East 17th Street received a land use amendment to major institution according to ordinance number 2024-080 approved in August 27, 2024. Accordingly, the requested conditional use CUP will permit the private school and daycare to operate at the unified properties. The CUP application was a requirement when the property came in 2024 for the land use amendment, since the operation of the private school, Lincoln Marti School, has been expanding without the proper permitting. According to the applicant, the unified properties operate a K-12 school with a total of 265 students and a daycare with a total of 21 children. This shall be the maximum enrollment capacity unless a new CUP increasing the enrollment is submitted in the future. The applicant submitted a traffic analysis that it has not yet been reviewed by the city's traffic engineer. However, since the school and the daycare are already in operations and the applicant is to submit for building permit, if any negative traffic and parking conditions are reflected, mitigation strategies shall be addressed at building permitted or at any time if conditions affect the neighboring residential area. This condition is imposed because the applicant is also requesting a parking variance, requesting 51 parking spaces where 57 parking spaces are required to operate a school with such enrollment. Therefore, no parking spillover shall occur to adjacent street. Lastly, the existing dumpster enclosure is too close to East 18th Street right away, only a foot where 10 feet are required. This variance can be approved if the gates of the dumpster are opened into the private property and a stop bar is placed so no gates is to swing out into the right of way. The rezoning and the CUP request can be approved to achieve the requirement to properly permit the existing school and daycare. The parking variance can also be approved if conditions are accepted, as well as the dumpster. The following conditions are stipulated: that the applicant shall enter into a declaration of restrictions for the K-12 grade CUP with a maximum student capacity of 265 students and a daycare with a maximum capacity of 21 children, and that the applicant enters into a unity of title for the 4 parcels of land included in this application. that the applicant shall obtain a change of use and building permitting within the 12 months, and that the applicant addresses any traffic and parking conditions if negative impacts are found in the surrounding areas of the unified property. Staff recommends approval for the rezoning, CUP, and variances with conditions.
Thank you.
I'll start off by saying that we accept the conditions. And then I'll go through a PowerPoint presentation that I have. This is kind of a cleanup of this school that's been operating there for over 20 years. These are the 4 properties. 2 of them are on 18th Street, right next to each other. There's a big building there. The corner on the southwest corner of East 4th and 17, and the small house that's right next to that property. Last year, I came before you and we requested a land use change to the single-family house, which is going to be the daycare, and that was approved by the board and by the council. 2 of the properties, 1750 and 1702, already have commercial land use. Here's the next slide. And now we're requesting to change the zoning on the other 2 properties to B1 so that it'll all be the same. There will be a unity of title, which all 4 properties will be put together. Next slide. This is what the properties look like now. And I will tell you, Claudia, when I went out there myself to put the signs up, I saw that there was cars like in this photograph parked in the swale area, but I noticed that it was people from the shopping center across the street on East 4th Avenue. There's a barber shop or a tattoo shop or something, and I saw them coming to the car and going back and forth. So I just want to make sure that I state that for the record and that we don't end up having to deal with that situation, because there's really not too much we can do about that. Like I said, the school's been operating for over 20 years. It's been working and it has expanded. It started here on 18th Street, then it expanded over to the 1702, the corner building. And then now we're adding that little house that's going to be the daycare portion of the school. This is what it looks like. Next page, just to give you an idea. The next one has the small house that's going to be part of this, and then an overhead view of all of the properties on the next page. There you go. The next page is just the plans that we submitted with the zoning legends. So as this has been operating and it's been working fine for over 20 years, as I said, this is kind of a cleanup. Mr. Perez's father was the one that started the schools and ran them. Unfortunately, he's not with the family anymore. So he took over, and then we put this all together. We see what do we need to do to make sure that we comply with everything. And this is the last part, the CUP and the rezoning, so that it all is uniform. It's all one big school, and it'll continue operating as it has been. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
I have a question for the
Yeah.
chair. For that parking in the swell, can we just put like a no parking sign there, or maybe those little triangle cement cones so people don't park there to prevent? Because it looks kind of ugly with the picture that you showed.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to prevent that.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to put those signs. I think the city has to go out there and put them up.
That's correct. So I noted, we'll include it that the street department can install no parking signs in the 12 area.
Yeah, because that shopping center is real small, the one across the street. I noticed because I was putting the signs up, and I'm like, why is this guy coming from over there to over here and parking?
Yeah.
And they have very little parking across the street. Just
They shouldn't be parking there anyway, so yeah, put a tollway zone sign there. That'll
Yeah.
that'll scare
Yeah,
people
also
away.
the barber shop has parking on the back.
I guess they're leaving that open
Have
and
a
they,
parking lot in the back.
Yeah,
They
that's,
don't use it. It's
I
always
know, but there is a
empty. Yeah.
parking lot on the back.
Really?
maybe it's more convenient to walk across the street. I don't know.
Fortunately,
I'm just glad I saw it, so I don't want somebody to think that it was school personnel that was parking there, because we don't need it.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone in the audience have a comment or question? All right. Close to the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
With conditions.
Second.
Okay, so we had a motion by Mr. Yoa, second by Mr. Morales. Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions. Item number 7, rezoning property from R1 one family district to R2 1 and 2 family residential district. Variance permit to allow the construction of a duplex on a substandard lot having a lot width of 40 feet where 75 feet are required. To allow a lot area of 4,000 square feet where 7,500 square feet are required. To allow a front setback of 21 feet where 25 feet are required. To allow interior north side and south side setbacks of 5.5 feet where 7.5 feet are required. To allow a rear setback of 20.5 feet where 25 feet are required. And to allow a lot coverage of 31.9% where 30% is the maximum lot coverage allowed. Properties located at 4442 East 9th Court, Hialeah, zoned R1 one family district. Applicant Manny Reals, architect on behalf of Ellis A. Sanchez and Janet L. Sanchez.
Good evening, Manny Rose Architect with the offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
The property in this application is located on the west side of East 9th Court between East 43th Street and East 45th Street. The lot is the fifth lot from the East 45th Street with approximately 4,000 square feet or 0.09 acres. The site is currently improved with a single-family home structure measuring 1,653 square feet, built in 1960, according to Miami-Dade County Property Appraisals records. The property is designated as low-density residential on the city's future land use map and currently zone R1, one family district. The surrounding land use designation and zoning classifications are as follows. To the north, low-density residential, zone R1. To the east, low-density residential, zone R1 and R2, 1 and 2 family residential districts. To the south, low-density residential, zone R1. To the west, low-density residential, zone R1 and R2. The applicant is before the city requesting to rezone the property from R1, one family district, to R2, 1 and 2 family residential districts to allow the construction of a duplex on a substandard lot. The applicant is also requesting a variance permit to allow a lot width of 40 feet where 75 feet are required, to allow a lot area of 4,000 square feet where 7,500 square feet are required, to allow a front setback of 21 feet where 25 are required, to allow interior north and south setbacks of 5.5 feet where 7.5 feet are required, and to allow a rear setback of 20.5 feet where 25 feet are required, and to allow a lot coverage of 31.9 where 30% is the minimum lot coverage allowed. According to the submitted plans, the proposed project consists of 2-story duplex buildings. Each unit will have approximately living area of 1,269 square feet and will be designed with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, including a covered terrace at the rear of the building. The second floor unit will be accessed through an exterior stairwell located at the front of the structure. The project will provide a minimum of 4 parking spaces, meeting the minimum parking requirements, and an enclosed trash bin area is proposed along the north side of the building, providing a designated and a screened location for waste storage and collection in compliance with city requirements. In addition, the plans indicate a total pervious areas of 1,584 square feet, which is 39.6%, which exceeds the minimum required 30% pervious area, thereby improving site drainage and contributing to the overall aesthetics and environmental quality of the property. To address the variances being requested, it's important to note that the property was platted prior to the adoption of the current minimum lot width and the lot area requirements for the R2 zoning classification. As a result, the lot is considered substandard in size. Also, the proposed stairways at the front of the building encroaches into the required front setback, providing 21 feet where 25 feet are required. Staff does not find this encroachment to have a negative impact, as the staircase are an open architectural element and does not obstruct the visibility or pedestrian movement. The encroachment is minor in scale and contributes to the overall functionality and design of the building by allowing direct pedestrian access from the parking area located at the front of the property. The project also seeks approval of reducing interior north and south side setbacks of 5.5 feet where 7.5 feet are required, and a reduced rear setback of 20.5 feet where 25 are required. Staff finds these reductions acceptable, given the limited lot width and the fact that the proposed building maintains adequate separation from adjacent properties, preserving privacy. Finally, the proposal is seeking approval of a total lot coverage of 31.9%, where 30% is the maximum allowed. Staff does not consider this increase in lot coverage to be negative impact on the surrounding properties. The proposed duplex include a larger building footprint to accommodate additional bedrooms, thereby providing more housing opportunities and improving the site functionality while remaining consistent with the character of the neighborhood. The proposal was submitted to the Miami-Dade County Public School Concurrency Management System to ensure that the adequate school capacity is available to serve the students generated by the proposed residential development and is currently under review. The site is served by Pump Station PS 04-013, which is in okay status. Final capacity and utility impacts will be further evaluated during the site plan and concurrency review process. Based on the applicant request, staff recommends approval with the following condition: to enter into a declaration of restrictions to develop the site according to plan signed and sealed by Manny Rails Architect dated September 16, 2025. Staff recommends approval with a condition.
Thank you, Claudia. Manny?
Yes, good evening. We're we have designed a beautiful two-story duplex, which each unit has 3 bedrooms, which will accommodate the needs of the area. I know the streets department has done the streets brand new in the area, and unfortunately, they did not provide off-street parking. Some other areas in the vicinity do have off-street parking, but not necessarily this specific Ninth Court. Basically, to the west of us, there are other duplexes, and to the east of us, there are other duplexes, block and a half away. So basically, this is something that will be, in our opinion, better for the area and will enhance the neighborhood and try to keep away from all these efficiencies that are popping up by having an additional unit on the site to facilitate the commodity for individuals that want to live in the neighborhood, which is becoming a very, very nice neighborhood. That's all I have to say. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them.
Comments or questions from the board? The chair? Yes, sir.
I no disrespect to you, man. I love what you're doing with this design and everything, but we keep doing these spot pieces in neighborhoods, 2-story units, 3-story units, and we're knocking down these houses. This type of zoning, I don't understand it. We keep putting small apartment buildings in residential areas, and how? So when? To what end?
John, if I may interrupt, this is not an apartment building. This is a duplex.
But is it?
And
for
it's a
sale?
R2 zoning, which is compatible with other properties in the area. If you look at the map that I submitted, we're not removing residential. We're not doing 3-4-story high buildings. We're not using 10 units, 8 units, whatever. We're doing a duplex, which is compatible to the areas. Look to the east and look to the west.
Well, when I was looking at Google Maps, most of the homes that I saw there are 1-story homes. I don't see very many 2-story homes in that area when I'm looking at Google Maps.
So if we,
That's what I
if
don't
we
like.
base, right, and I understand your concern, but basically the zoning code for R1 and R2, which is single family homes,
Right.
allows for 2 stories and a half.
Yeah. I
So
can go up to
even
35 feet.
you can go even, taller than what, this project is proposing. So those are regulations that we currently have. And when we talk about R1s and R2, they're compatible with each other. You are not bringing additional uses. You are not bringing any other, aspects from the interior. It's basically residential homes only, what you're allowing in that area.
So,
I understand that the volume, the envelope is what, you're considering, but in the R1, the code already allows you for 2 stories and a half.
okay, it's just, just aesthetically, I see it, 1-story homes, and all of a sudden you have a 2-story home right in the middle of everything. I think it just doesn't look right.
Have you driven by the area, John?
I haven't been there in a while. I'm looking at it Google Maps. And
We just finished a beautiful 4-unit double
Your-
duplex
your-
on the corner.
your work is, beyond
Well,
question.
it's all been
Your
approved
work-
and built and it's beautiful.
Your work is beautiful. I respect your work and everything. I was just wondering, about the spot zoning, and I thought this was a spot zoning situation.
No, sir.
This is not spot zoning.
Thank you.
Are you gonna be able to put all the parking within
Yes,
the
sir. We're
property?
complying 100% with zoning, which requires 2 parking spaces for each unit. 100%.
Dumpsters
And I
gonna be
went-
enclosed?
The trash enclosure is behind, et cetera. And I drove by there and a lot of people that live there are actually parking on the driveway and blocking a little bit of the sidewalk, but they are parking in an angle on the driveway that's been built by the city as an approach to their units. So we're gonna probably end up here with 5 or 6 parking spaces that are gonna be parked, 2 on the outside and 2 and 4 on the inside, but you know, it is what it is. We're following 100% of the code.
Now, you mentioned the streets department didn't provide you with on-site.
No, sir. Off-site
on-
parking,
on-
no. I don't know
Okay.
why.
When
When was it done? It was finished a few months ago.
I know, when, Millie, please, you know the rules. You want to speak, I will allow, over here. When you begin, Millie, would you like me to have you escorted out? Please maintain the decorum, okay? Okay, well, just, Millie, please. Manny,
Yes, sir.
question. When you start the construction,
Mm-hmm.
and this is just for my information, and I do understand the streets department just improved the swale and the area and the streets and the sidewalks and what have you. Is there any way possible, and I could be stepping out of bounds here, is there any way possible that you could remedy that issue with the parking you just mentioned, where they park catty corner and they take up extra space or extra
You're
swale
talking about
area?
during construction?
When you do your constructions.
The construction process. You talking about the construction process?
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm sure that the employees are gonna park inside the premises because the building is set back, the duplex is set back, so I'm sure they'll park 2 or 3 vehicles inside at least, and then the other one will probably go in the driveway and, you know, they'll have to make arrangements they cannot park on the street. Will not be allowed to park on the street.
And there's no room for on-street parking.
Yeah, there is.
I think if I understood correctly, please clear me. So what you're asking if there is any possibility to improve the swale with a parking space while you are going through the permitting
right.
process.
Even though the city just finished
Just-
doing it recently,
Okay.
is that a possibility where
That's
you?
something that would have to be discussed with the streets department. I mean, it's brand new work, so it's gonna have to be heavily protected.
Yeah.
I am sure the developer, the owner, is gonna have to meet with the streets department on site with their superintendents to make sure that everything is followed to the letter, because they're not gonna allow destruction of something that was just finished.
Through the chair, so I will suggest that we include another condition into the report that it says, if feasible, the applicant will do, all the collaboration and trying to figure it out if you can include an on-street parking adjacent to the property.
Yes,
Is that?
that's not gonna be a
That's what
problem.
I'm trying to get at.
That depends on the streets department, though.
100%.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. You will just collaborate and seek, approval if feasible. Depending on the plans, we don't know the storm, drainage that they are currently included in the street. Well, street will have to review
Well,
everything.
That's exactly the point I was trying to get across, because I know for a fact that when the city does, or the county, when they improve a roadway, swales, sidewalks, curbs, what have you, especially this one was just recently done, they do, I don't want to see the word moratorium, it's a little harsh, but they do put a limit as to, you can't touch this for X amount of years. As far as, improving, maybe widening, adding an extra parking spot, if feasible. I'm not, putting the burden on you, but if,
I mean, we'll probably, I'll mention to the owner to contact through us the streets department to see if they will allow us to do one off-street parking in addition to the 4 parkings that we're providing inside the property that we're following the code 100%. That's what I want everybody on the board to understand, that we're following the code.
Yes.
We're not deviating. We're not asking for a variance for 2 spaces when we have 2 units and 2 residential units. They're not multifamily.
I understand, but my thing is that typically when the streets haven't been improved recently,
Sure.
there's a little wiggle room between you and the owner and the contractors and what have you, where yes, you can manipulate an extra, manufacture an extra on street parking, that kind of thing. But this may be an issue since they just improved that.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk to the chief of streets, who I know very well, and we'll see what we can do. We'll do something to that effect. All I want to make sure is that everybody on the board, if they have a question or a concern, please ask me, and I'll do the best I can to answer it
Right.
professionally. That's all I can do.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
the current property that's there, the way the front parking is set up, it appears to be that there's multiple units in that current building.
Probably. Probably.
Maybe 4
I
units.
I cannot vouch for that. But I'm sure there's quite a few buildings in the area that are 1-story buildings that have more than 2 or 3 or 4 units. I am sure, 100%. So, we're trying to do something to remedy partly that or mostly that. And, this is good. This is going to be very nice. So I don't have an answer for you as to how many units are. We don't own the property. I wouldn't doubt it that there's 2 or 3 or 4 units there. I have no idea. I mean, all you can do is drive at night after 6 o'clock, and if you see more than 4 or 5 cars in the front, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone in the audience?
Okay, for the record, I would like to say that Millie Herrera did send the city clerk's office an email on November 12th, 2025, expressing her reasons why she's opposing to this item. But since she's here, she'll have her 3 minutes and I don't have to read the email.
Update the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Manny, for picking up my phone call. Millie Herrera, 4341 East Eighth Lane. I did speak with Manny. Manny is the same architect of the duplex, which is now a quadruple in the corner of 43rd and 8th Court. And look what the street department did. I am so angry at them and at this city because there is multiple. You can check my email address. I sent it to the engineers. I spoke to Behar. I spoke to Ignacio, the street workers. I made them coffee. Hasta me celebraron las piernas tan lindas que tengo. Muchas gracias. Okay? And the street department did a terrible, terrible thing. They left us with no parking. When somebody passed by my street and said, "How did you get this much parking?" In Spanish, I go, "I fought like a lion. You would not have recognized me. You think I'm mad now? You should have seen me." Okay? We have police going and citing people. They're all over the streets. Now, here's the problem I have with this property. I think it's in foreclosure and they're trying to sell it to an investor and he wants to get the most out of it because the greed is toxic and the greed is against God. And God doesn't want this for our city. Thank you, Mr. Ula. John, thank you, because you recognize something. Manny took the balconies out of the unit on 8th Court. So I'm not telling the people, because I was an advocate for these little villas, but I thought of villas like 1 bedroom and where you're taking out a car dealer facing 49th Street, right? Maybe a duplex side by side. If this was a duplex side by side, I wouldn't be here. If it was but 1 bedroom, I wouldn't be here because you have 4 parking spaces. Let me tell you, I found families when I ran for city council. In 1 apartment, 2 bedroom, 5 cars. You have the potential for up to 12 to 16 cars. You have 3 bedrooms above and 3 bedrooms below. This is one house on top of the other. Now, if you tell me the bottom floor is gonna be 2 bedrooms and the top is gonna be 1 bedroom, somebody can park on the street on the driveway, and then you have 4. So I'm gonna ask Manny to work with the residents. I'm gonna go knock on some doors. This was, think of the respect of the privacy of the safety. Somebody's gonna get killed. We have 3 deaths in Hialeah over parking, fights. In 8th Lane, a 66-year-old man shot a young 16-year-old boy because they were taunting him. 9th Street, dead. A lady that they ran over, dead. And let me tell you, I learned about 3 fights in West Hialeah condos about parking. And yes, parking matters. And the city did a terrible thing, and you cannot put 3 apartments over 3 apartments. Mitigate it, take the balcony out, and maybe we can be friends again.
Thank you, Millie.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, that's, Manny, again, that's why I brought up the suggestion of possibly if it coincides with streets department to maybe increase like on street parking. I mean, I don't want to put it down as a condition, but as a suggestion. If I know if
We're not gonna, I mean, Manny can work with the streets department, but I'm not gonna put a condition into that
Exactly.
requires the city to
Right,
do
right.
something. So,
Yeah.
I would recommend that not be a condition. I'm sure Manny will work with the streets department, but I'm not, recommending we place a condition upon the city, which at this point,
Right.
that's what this is.
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to, and I said it clearly. I don't want to put a condition, but it may be a suggestion of mutual understanding, working with streets department, especially since they just improved that area.
I can call Jose Sanchez tomorrow. We can see if it's viable. If it's viable, I'll talk to Manny. If not, it's not viable.
Thank you.
Okay. I said my piece.
If anybody else has any
Anybody else?
questions, please ask me.
All right. All right, anyone else in the audience? Closes the part of public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve?
Second that motion?
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Ulloa, second by Mr. Iglesias. Motion to approve with condition.
Yes, with conditions. He accepts the conditions, right?
Yes.
We're good.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Item has been approved with condition.
Thank you. I have the next project coming up. That's gonna be, you and I talked a little bit about that. You said it would be postponed.
The applicant's requesting to postpone his next item. It was the companion item for his item that was denied in the land use item. I guess he wants an opportunity to speak to the neighbors and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
work with the neighbors and
Yeah.
fix the project. So Manny's requested to postpone this item, and if possible, he would like to reconsider the land use item so that he can bring it back as one and postpone that item as well, so you can bring it back as a companion item, if this board is open to that or not.
Okay, so
Do we need a motion?
let me, hang on, let me process this real quick.
Coffee?
Coffee. No, it's too bitter. This next item, you are proposing to postpone it or move it down the road a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. And he's asking if we can bring back the land use to reconsider.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, because they're companion items, and denying one and moving forward to city council wouldn't make sense.
Yes.
Okay, and the reconsideration will be as a postponement.
Correct.
To match with the.
Correct. It would be a reconsideration to reconsider the denial and then revote on the item to postpone the item. If the board is open to that, the only members who would be able to motion, well, first you should decide on the postponement.
Okay, let's
So-
start the postponement first.
I motion to postpone.
Okay.
Second.
Second that
Okay, but before we vote, is there a date on it or next meeting
What
or?
would your What would you like, Manny?
I would say we would need at least 30 days to do our homework.
So
At
then,
least
So
30
let's
days.
tie it to a date somewhere in
for
January.
January,
Sometime in
you
January.
would be asking for the first meeting in January.
So yes, the first meeting of January is January 3rd or 14th, January 14th, 2026.
14, okay.
Yes.
Motion to
But can we read
postpone
the
till
item-
January
can we
14th.
read the item into the record? Because we haven't even read it yet.
You can, yeah, you can read just,
Postpone.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
So item number 8, rezoning from R1 one families district and R2 1 and 2 family residential district to C2 liberal retail commercial district. The properties identified by folio number 04-2035-001-0550 and a portion of approximately 160.13 feet by 295.07 feet, which is 1.08 acres of the property located at 1550 West 60th Street, highly zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district, and R1, 1 family district. Applicant Manny Reynolds, architect on behalf of Westland Baptist Church.
Okay, and then this item is suggested or requested for postponement. Can we get a
Motion to postpone.
Second that motion?
Okay, so we had a motion by Mr. Ulloa, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
yes?
So item has been postponed until January 14th, 2026 meeting.
Okay, now,
So-
you
so
mentioned
now-
something,
Yes.
you were going to mention something about those members that voted for or against.
Yes,
on-
Mr. Chairman. So now LU2, which is the companion item, was a denial.
Right.
If you would like to reconsider that motion, the only people who would be able to make a motion for reconsideration were the people who were successful on that motion itself, which would be Mr. Iglesias, Ms. Enriquez, and Mr. Ulloa, I believe. So only you three can make the motion, anybody can second the motion, and moving forward, anybody can vote on the new motion.
Do we have to read it into the record first?
You should, go back to LU1.
And again, this will be
To reconsider.
to reconsider, right,
Mhm.
reconsider,
This is to reconsider LU2.
At a later date, correct?
same, it's a companion as a,
January
Okay.
14th.
So LU2, small scale map amendment from major institutions and transportation and utilities to commercial. Properties identified by folio number 04-2035-001-0550 and a portion of approximately 160.13 feet by 295.07 feet, which is 1.08 acres of property located at 1550 West 60th Street. Highly zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district and R1, 1 family district. Applicant Manny Reynolds, architect on behalf of Westland Baptist Church.
okay, and this item was heard and it was denied.
Yes.
So it's now coming out for reconsideration of,
The item.
Reopening it.
Of the-
not removing the denial, but
Well, yes, sir, reconsideration of the denial.
reconsideration of the denial.
Correct. So that would be if you are reconsidering, the appropriate motion would be a motion to reconsider by the three people that I mentioned.
Motion to reconsider, to reopen on January 14th.
Second that motion.
Okay, so we had a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Ulloa. Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Okay, so item number 2 has been reconsidered.
So now the item is open, and if you would like to make a motion to postpone, at this point, any member can make a motion to postpone and make a second on that.
Motion to postpone to the next meeting, January 14th.
Second that motion?
Okay, so we had a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Ulloa and Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
So item has been postponed until January 14th, 2026.
And quickly, I'm sorry, Celis, I didn't catch if you got Mr. Mason's vote for reconsideration.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Did you ever or not? Because he should,
No, I'm
okay.
sorry, I am as absent.
He shouldn't have been,
Okay.
he shouldn't have voted on the reconsideration. So, we'll remove his vote from the reconsideration.
Okay, so I have removed Mr. Mason's.
Oh, you're
vote.
on the ball.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You're on the ball.
You're good.
Okay, so
That's it.
You're good to go. I'll
Thank
get
you.
to get
Thank you
another
very
shot.
much. Thank you very much.
Meet with the neighbors and stuff and
Yes.
try to.
January.
January
14.
14th? Okay. The items, both items have been. Okay, let me explain this in a way that, okay, the original item, the one you all spoke with, was denied originally. He has another item, a companion item for that same address. They both need to be in sync. You can't go to the council with one denial and one approval. So they need to be in the same picture. He has asked to postpone this one item, the rezoning, to the next meeting. At the same time, as the attorney explained, since they both need to be together, there was a reconsideration of removing the denial for the first item. Okay, so as it stands right now, nothing happened. Okay. The original one, the land use, is now open. It's scheduled for January 13th, 14th, whenever. Okay. It will be heard again. He will meet with the neighbors and you all will exchange concerns and issues and whatnot. So come January, will be basically just like tonight. We'll start fresh with the land use and then the zoning, the rezoning. Okay?
And if you can ask them to please hang around so we can get their names and numbers and whatever, and we'll be more than glad to meet with them.
Okay. I'll give you 1 minute. Come right up here. Because I know you're very eager. Okay, you're very eager. You want to, but what he is suggesting is he wants to meet tonight, right now. He wants to meet with you guys and exchange numbers so that he can set up a meeting. Go ahead. Name and address again, please.
Okay, my name is Margarita Caraballo. I live at 5830 West 14th Lane in Hialeah. I wanted to say something. Mr. Rose has mentioned that by having that changing the zoning, having that land use, that people would pay to have their boats and it would clean up the area where homeowners have their boats. That's not going to happen in Hialeah, because if you can keep your boat on your home, on your property, you're not going to pay to have a boat. I've seen similar areas that have been changed to a parking district. First, it was a parking district. Now it's been sugar-coated to read as a C2 liberal retail commercial district. This is going to be our third round again in January 14th. They're going to, what are they going to name it now?
Okay, that's,
see,
we're looking too far into the future.
But
this is something,
they keep changing it.
Well, this is something that you as an affected neighbor, as an impacted neighbor, please talk with them and try and come up with an answer, with a middle ground somewhere. Okay. Just for the record, just so that you, as far
It
as
seems like they want to shove this down our throats, have changed.
as far as boats, parking boats is concerned, there is a city ordinance for parking recreational vehicles, boats, RVs, what have you. Okay, there's an ordinance which is being enforced, and I'm telling you that as sure as we're here. Okay, it is being enforced. If your vessel or your RV meets a certain criteria, you can park it in an R1, in a single family.
Yes, I know. That's not a.
Not in a townhouse. Okay? So those will be the perfect individuals that can negotiate a parking spot over there. Okay, so talk with them, iron it out. Thank you.
Is there a conflict of interest? He's the attorney for the city, Esquire, and I see him carrying on many conversations with Mr. Rose. I mean, I don't know what the,
Interest?
I'm just saying the attorney keeps going over and speaking with you, so I'm wondering,
Okay, well, that will be a,
Would you like me to answer that?
please.
No.
Okay,
keep that in mind.
thank you. Okay, so next item, please.
Item number 9. Variance permit to allow 32 multifamily units, 84% with an area less than 700 square feet, where 700 square feet is the minimum required. And only 25% of the residential units may have a minimum area of 500 square feet. To allow a front setback of 5 feet where 10 feet built to line are required. To allow an interior east side setback of 3.25 feet where 15 feet are required. To allow a rear setback of 0 feet where 15 feet are required. To allow a street side setback of 5 feet where 10 feet built to line are required. To allow the proposed dumpster enclosure to be 0 feet from the right-of-way fronting East 47th Street where 10 feet are required. To allow a 5-foot landscape buffer on East 4th Avenue and a 5.16-foot landscape buffer on East 47th Street, where a minimum 7-foot landscape buffer is required. To allow 8.6% pervious area where 30% is the minimum required. And to allow partial waiver of minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation as per section 98-2235 for the construction of a mixed-use 4-story development consisting of 38 residential units, including 6 residential units to be offered at an affordable rate of 60% of the area medium income, AMI. Properties are located at 410 East 47th Street and 4655 East 4th Avenue, within Area 2 of the Neighborhood Business District Overlay. Hialeah Zones R3 Multiple Family District. Applicant, Cesar Mastre, Esquire on behalf of Luxor Hialeah 47th Street LLC.
Cesar Mastrate with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida.
The properties in these applications are located at the southeastern intersection of East 4th Avenue and East 47th Street within Area Number 2 of the Neighborhood Business District, NBD Overlay, catty-corner from Hialeah High School. The properties are adjacent to a 12-foot alley to the east. The property's land use was changed to medium-density residential in 2020 under Ordinance Number 2020-79, and the rezoning and variances were approved under Ordinance Number 2021-139. The former project was a 2-story mixed-use project with 5 residential units and 2,013 square feet of retail and a surface parking lot. This application is for a 4-story building with an enclosed ground parking area and 3 levels of residential units encompassing 38 residential units, 45 parking spaces, and an active ground level with spaces such as a lobby and a gym that will be used solely for the residents. The project is proposing to use the Mixed Affordable Housing Ordinance to increase the density of the property. In order to receive the density increase, 6 residential units are to be restricted to be rented or sold at the affordable rate of 60% of the area median income, AMI, and the project shall comply with all regulations established under Ordinance Number 2025-045. The residential units are 1 bedroom and 1 bedroom with a study area, all varying from 612 square feet to 741 square feet of area. This application is requesting several variances relating to the size of the residential units, setback reductions, landscaping, and pervious areas reductions. The setback reductions requests apply to all 4 sides of the project and to the dumpster enclosure, yet no parking variances are being requested. Since the property is located within one of the NBD district areas, no special use permit is required. However, the project shall comply with the density and height setting points. The project is proposing to utilize 3 points for the redevelopment of a corner site within the NBD district, 1 point with the gym and a lobby, and 1 point parking facility out of a street view. In addition, at East Fourth Avenue, the project includes a pedestrian entry lobby towards the corner with an elevator and staircases servicing each residential floor. The East Fourth Avenue elevation is set back to provide for greenery and storefront details as is required by the MBD regulations. Towards the north elevations or East 47th Street, the applicant is proposing to improve the right-of-way with on-street parking. All these improvements are subject to the street department's approval. This proposal designed and used align with the intent of the MBD regulations. However, it's noted that the south side property line has to be treated with improvements since there will be no area to provide for a landscaping buffer or any other softening treatment to the south elevation, even though the ground level only will be affected by these conditions since the south elevation of the building recesses proportionally as the building goes up to the second, third, and fourth floor. There is also an interior garden area that brings an open space and greenery to the project. Balconies are only facing west and north, providing for an additional privacy aspect to the neighboring properties. The remaining variances have a lesser impact on neighboring properties since internal improvements to the project have been introduced to address them, such as a proper stormwater engineering system, a proper landscaping and irrigation system to provide for proper green areas and water absorption rates. After evaluation of the project, the following conditions are stipulated: to mitigate the south elevation with a solid 6-foot masonry wall, and to enter into a declaration to develop the property according to the MBD schedules for permitting and construction schedule, and that all the incepting points are to be provided at the time of site plan and construction. And develop the property according to the plans prepared by Oscar J. Gonzalez dated July 25th, 2025, and stipulate the proffered 6 affordable housing units at a maximum of 60% AMI, and provide and record a unity of title. And if any traffic or parking issues arise after occupancy of the building, the applicant agrees to provide a traffic analysis addressing the traffic circulation and parking conditions for the project. If any traffic and parking improvements are recommended, the applicant has agreed to satisfy such improvements. And exterior colors to be administratively approved at site plan at the discretion of the director. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
I'll start off again with the conditions are acceptable to the applicant. With me today is Jonathan Favia, who's sitting in the back. He's part of the Luxor construction company. He's here to help out. Okay, we have a slide presentation. If you can go to the next one. These are the two lots. There's, as staff said, it's the corner of 47th Street and East 4th Avenue, caddy corner to the parking garage in Hialeah High. Next slide. The building that is being proposed is a 4-story building. And I think it's extremely important that we understand that we're not asking for a special use permit to allow or expand the neighborhood business district as some other projects have asked for. This one is located already within the designated neighborhood business district.
Okay, well, we have a fire alarm.
We're in recess. So you should, everybody should. Thing.
Right. Take the
Okay.
Hi,
We're missing.
All right, 8:02, Mr. Chairman, we are back.
we're back on.
The police officer downstairs says he'll come get us if there's a real emergency. So you have quorum and you can continue with your business, sir.
Do I wait for Board Member Morales or?
You have quorum, Caesar, so
Okay.
whatever you want to do.
Just go ahead and do your thing, and
Okay.
if we have to reread it again, we'll do it.
So as I was saying, it's very important that we're not asking for a special use permit. We're not asking to expand the neighborhood business district. This is located within a designated business district. Pursuant to the MBD, we could go as high as 8 stories, but I've talked to the client and we were keeping an eye on another project that came before you a little while ago, which is 1 block over, very similar to this, same corner, just 1 block down, that was approved by you, was recommended for approval by you, and has already been voted on for first reading yesterday in the council. So it's 1 block. That one's also 4 stories, just like this one is. I also point out that this building is the same 4 stories as the parking garage from Hialeah High. That's catty corner. So it's all the same. And the reason that this area was designated MBD is because the council, as a policy, wanted to increase the density in this corridor of East 4th Avenue. So I think that's very important for you guys to keep that in mind. These are the plans. This next slide, the next one, shows you the unit development. They're all 1-bedroom units. The first floor has 45 parking spaces. The units are a total of 38. They're all 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Some have a, what do they call it? A studio, not like a den. They range from 612 square feet to 741 square feet. The 45 parking spaces are on the ground floor. In addition to those parking spaces, which are sufficient, they're also trying to develop some on-street parking, so there's additional parking in the area. There's 13 units on the 2nd floor, 13 units on the 3rd floor, and 12 units on the 4th floor. As the staff said, the building kind of goes in, so really the only problem is the bottom part is the most expansive part. Due to the density and the new code provisions, they are agreeing to have 6 units rented at 60% AMI. I know we've been talking about AMI. You hear that all the time. We've heard 80%. The one that I was doing yesterday that you guys approved before was at 140%. So 60% AMI is actually a very low number. So the rent on these 6 units is going to be very affordable. And that's part of the agreement. I'd like to go to the 3 slides down, just a drawing of the building. The next one there, that's the west side elevation. The next one is the east side elevation. There's balconies only on the north side and the west side, so that there's no privacy issues with the neighbors. I'd like to go 2 slides over. That one shows the parking garage from Hialeah High, which is directly catty corner to this, same height. So as you see, what's happening is the area is kind of redeveloping, and it's complying with the policy and the vision of the council, which is to increase the density and have multi-story buildings on this properties. This property was zoned R33 back in 2020. I was involved in the rezoning and the land use change on the property back then. That property owner had a different project in mind. He had a 2-story project that was going to be mixed use with commercial and some residential. Unfortunately, he passed away, and then this developer bought the property. And now with the new regulations, he's coming forth with this project. So that is my presentation. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Mestre. Comments or questions from the board? Anyone in the audience have a comment or question? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve? With conditions?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mr. Mason. Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions. Item number 10, variance permit to allow a lot coverage of 37.8%, where 30% is the maximum lot coverage allowed, and to allow an interior west side setback of 9.45 feet, where 10 feet are required for an existing addition to be legalized. Property is located at 40 West 15th Street, Hialeah, zones R3, multiple family district. Applicant Carlos A. Enriquez on behalf of Ismelia M. Enriquez.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, counselor. We accept the planner's recommendations for the variance.
Name and address.
Carlos Enriquez, 7480 Fairway Drive, Suite 205, Miami Lakes, Florida, 33014.
Thank you, sir.
The property in this application is located on the south side of West 15th Street between Palm Avenue and West First Avenue. The lot is approximately 6,750 square feet, 0.09 acres, and is improved with a one-story, four-unit building, built in 1952, according to Miami-Dade County property appraisal records. The property is designated as medium-density residential on the city's future land use map and currently zoned R3, multifamily district. The surrounding land use designations and zoning classification are as follows. To the north, medium-density residential, zone R3. To the east, low-density residential, medium-density residential, and commercial, zone R3, R2, 1 and 2 family residential district, and C2, liberal retail commercial district, and C3, extended liberal retail commercial district. To the south, medium-density residential and high-density residential, zone R3. To the west, low-density residential and medium-density residential, zone R1, R2, and R3. The applicant is before the city requesting a variance to allow the lot coverage of 37.8%, where 30% is the maximum lot coverage allowed, and to allow an interior west side setback of 9.45 feet, where 10 feet are required for an existing additional to be legalized. The property received a violation number BWOP-001-727-2024 in February 2024 for the construction of the rear addition without the benefit of a building permit. The application measures approximately 280 square feet and consists of a master bedroom. Following the issuance of a violation, the applicant submitted building permit number multi-002269-2025 to legalize the addition. During a staff review, it was determined that the addition encroaches into the required west side setback of 10 feet. Therefore, a variance permit is required to approve and legalize the existing setback dimension. Due to the existing addition, the main structure exceeds the maximum permitted lot coverage of 30%, resulting in a total lot coverage of 37.8%. According to the city microfilms records, the existing structure was originally constructed as a one-story, four-unit building with parking spaces that back out directly onto the street. It is important to note that the back-out parking spaces are only permitted for properties with low-density residential and land use designation. Therefore, the existing back-out permit are considered legal non-conforming. Units 1 through 3 were developed as a one-bedroom, one-bathroom unit, while Unit 4, the unit where the master bedroom addition was constructed, was originally developed as a two-bedroom, one-bathroom. The submitted plan also showed that the property meets the required purpose area, providing 53.08%, which exceeds the minimum of 30%. However, the plans do not include a dumpster enclosure as required by Section 78-106 of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance. This section requires all dumpsters to be located within an enclosed area that is screens from the public view and allows proper access for collection. The applicant will need to update the plans to include the compliant dumpster enclosure before a building permit is issued or apply for a separate building permit to construct the required enclosure. Staff recommends approval of the requested variances since they are minor and will not negatively impact the surrounding properties. The addition maintains the existing residential character of the neighborhood and remains compatible with surrounding developments. Approval of these variances will allow the property owner to legalize the existing addition and bring the property into compliance with city requirements. Based on the applicant request, staff recommends approval with the following condition: that the applicant needs to update the plans to include a dumpster enclosure before a building permit is issued or apply for a separate building permit to construct the required enclosure. Staff recommends approval with a condition.
Thank you, Claudia. Comments or questions? Oh, you good with the conditions and the?
I do.
Okay. Comments or questions from the board? Anyone in the audience? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve with conditions?
Second. Okay, so we had a motion by Mr. Letzia, second by, I believe, Mrs. Enrique and Mr. Mason.
Yep.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Item number 11, conditional use permit to allow a K through fifth grade private elementary school with a maximum capacity of 80 students in conjunction with a 143 children daycare center. Variance permit to allow 19 parking spaces where 30 parking spaces are required. And to allow a waiver of minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation as per section 98-2235. Property is located at 2400 West 56th Street, Hialeah zoned R35, multiple family district. Applicant, Cesar Mestre, Esquire on behalf of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Inc.
Caesar Mustard offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida.
The property in this application is located at the southwest intersection of West 24th Avenue and West 56th Street, catty corner from Jose Marti Middle School. The site measures approximately 30,568 square feet or 0.70 acres, according to Miami-Dade County Property Appraisals records, and is improved with one-story, 13,000 square feet building constructed in 1988, along with parking lot providing 19 parking spaces. The property is designated as a high-density residential in the city's future land use map and is currently zone R35, multifamily district. The surrounding land use designations and zoning classifications are as follow. To the north, high-density residential and major institutions, zone R35. To the east, south, and west, high-density residential, zone R35. The site has been operating as a daycare since 1992. Over time, kindergarten through fifth grade classes were added without the required conditional use permit, CUP, and change of use approval. The applicant is now before the city requesting a conditional use permit to allow a K through 5 private elementary school with a maximum capacity of 80 students in conjunction with a 143 child daycare, and a parking variance to allow 19 parking spaces where 30 parking spaces are required, and a waiver of minimum landscaping requirements through landscape mitigation in accordance with section 98-2235 of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance. The proposed educational use is permitted within the high-density residential use designation and the R35 zoning classification, subject to approval of a conditional use permit. This ensures that the proposed school and daycare use remain compatible with the surrounding residential character while serving community needs. Per section 98-2189(8) and 9 of the code, a school and daycare use of this size require 30 parking spaces and auto stacking for at least 10 vehicles. The existing parking lot provides 19 parking spaces, including one ADA compliant space and a circular driveway that accommodate approximately 12 to 14 vehicles, including two accessible spaces. The circular driveway functions as a double lane queen area with a bypass lane. According to the applicant's letter of intent, the school employs 7 staff members, including the administrator, and the daycare employs 10 staff members. Most of the parking spaces on site are occupied by staff during operating hours, while parents use the circular driveway for student drop-off and pickup. To ensure safe and efficient traffic flow, staff members are equipped with two-way radios to assist the student during arrival and dismissal. The school also uses Bright Wheels, a mobile application that notifies staff when parents are approaching the property for drop-off and pickup. This allowed staff to prepare students ahead of time, reducing waiting times and maintaining a steady flow of vehicles through the circular driveway. The Bright's Wheel application also track attendance and provide real-time communication between parent and staff, further improve safety and coordination. The daycare operates from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and the school operates from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. To help manage traffic during peak hours, the owners have agreed to implement staggered arrival and dismissal times in 15 minutes interval, allowing approximately 15 students to arrive or depart at a time. In addition, many students remains in aftercare beyond dismissal hours, which help minimize congestions during peak traffic periods. However, due to the limited parking availability and the challenges associated with monitoring and enforcing the proposed staggered drop-off and pickup schedule, staff recommends that the school maximum student population be reduced from 80 to 50 students. This reduced enrollment will better align with the capacity of the existing auto stacking area, which can safely accommodate the volume of vehicles associated with that number of students. In addition, staff recommends that the number of school staff member be reduced to free up parking spaces that can be designed for visitor or parent use during school hours. This adjustment will be improve site functionality, reduce traffic congestion along West 24th Avenue, and help maintain safe circulation within the property. Finally, the applicant will be required to mitigate the landscaping deficiencies in accordance with Section 98-2235 of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinance. The owner of the property must submit a one-time landscaping mitigation payment, the amount in which will be calculated during the site plan and concurrency review process. Staff recommends the following conditions: that the applicant proffers a declaration of restrictions for the K-5 private elementary school with a maximum capacity of 50 students in conjunction with a 143 child daycare, and that the applicant abstain a change of use within the next 12 months, and that the applicant provide a landscape mitigation, a building permit if needed. A recommendation is approval with conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a presentation on this one. As Claudia said, and I think it's very important to note, this has been operating since 1992. The city's been trying to get away from shopping centers. This is a standalone building located on the corner of 24th Avenue and 56th Street. Next slide. It's the lot right on the corner of 24th and 56th, across the street from the schools that are there. You go to the third, skip one slide, go to the next one. This is the one on the right side, shows you the corner where the school is located. You can see part of the circular driveway there. This is what the parents use to pick up and drop off the children. The next slide. This will show you a better view of the circular driveway. You can see it's a standalone building by itself, fully gated, a lot of landscaping. And they use the two-way radios, they use an app to help the parents come and pick up the children and try to do it as fast as possible. This owner of this school has several schools in the area. I can tell you that some of the attorneys from my office and some of the assistants have their children there because it's so well run. As I said, he's been running this one since 1992. The next slide shows you their parking lot that they have, only for them, located on the south side of the building. The next slide is kind of important because it it shows you the on-street parking that's available and that's there and that has been being used. They have it right across the street. If you see the cars parked there directly to the north of the school, directly to the north of 7 Snow White. The school that's directly to the north, there's parking spaces there. If you look over to the right side where Jose Marti is, there's a long line of available parking, on-street parking there. We've been going back and forth on this one with staff for a number of years. And we have no problem with the conditions except the 50 student max. My client has told me, unfortunately, he couldn't be here today. He's out of the country, but he's told me if I go to 50, Cesar, I have to close my doors. I've been open for 30 something years, but based on that, I can't do it. So I've talked to Claudia, and what we would like to do, what we're proposing is, for purposes of today, we will accept the 50 student max, but we have agreed that we will go ahead and do a parking study to show that we have enough parking and that we can accommodate it. And we're going to do that before second reading in the council. So we'll accept all of the conditions with the understanding that we're going to do a parking analysis to ask the council to allow us to have the 80 students that we presently have. We're not asking for an increase. We're just asking to keep what we've had for a number of years. So based on that, we ask you respectfully for a vote of approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So basically, the issue here is that according to this, you don't have enough parking.
According to
The
staff
regulation-
report, we don't.
The
have enough parking,
regulations, right.
According to regulations, they're not meeting the parking requirements for the daycare and the school.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you're agreeing to the conditions now,
Correct.
doing a parking study, review, what have you, traffic review. and
While
bring-
this is going on.
And then bring it up to the council.
Correct.
By second reading or something?
Correct. That's the idea.
It's fair.
Through the chair?
Yes, sir.
Is this okay with Claudia? This makes no
Yes.
sense to me. I want to help you too, because what concerns me is not so much the reducing of the amount of children. Maybe there's a happy medium you guys could get into, maybe 60 or 65 or 70. What concerns me is also the reduction of employees, it says there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you have less students, you will require less staff. So
Yeah.
basically one will lead to the other one. However, I cannot impose any other restrictions since we don't have a parking analysis. If they can show and they can provide proof and a technical analysis that they have sufficient for what is currently right now, which is at 80, then we wouldn't have an issue,
So would it a
increasing the students.
postponal will be more? Would it be better to postpone? And that way it gives you the chance to do the parking analysis and everything else?
I just don't want to delay this anymore, John, because it's been going on for probably,
I know the location.
4
I-
years.
I used to fix their dish machine. It's, the parking is a little bit tight because when I would have to go park my truck there, I had to park by the kitchen, so it's a little tight there. I know the parking area. But it's a good school and it's not a bad school. It's very clean and it's well maintained.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Yo, maybe I can make a recommendation based on what you're saying, because maybe you can recommend based on today, the 50, right? With the caveat that Caesar goes to council, and if he shows that there's availability through a parking management plan, through his parking plan, the availability of 80, then that it can go up to 80. But you can recommend to the council 50 kids until he shows that. So
Okay,
it would
okay.
get the ball going.
And through the chair, so this application, they have been dealing with these applications for 2 years,
Okay.
even before it
least.
started. So that is why I consider it's like, we need to move forward with
Okay,
this.
so approve it then? Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
we're in agreement with that.
yeah, I'm good.
Any more comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve with those conditions?
Second with the conditions.
Okay, so we had a motion by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mr. Ulloa and Mr. Morales. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes,
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you. Good night.
Caesar,
Yes, sir.
as customary, I have to. I have to hit you. Go back,
Oh, I didn't do anything.
go back.
After receding hairline, come on.
Receding, you call that receding?
Yeah, I know.
I think it's a little bit past receding already.
That receding's gone.
How in the world did you manage to get that picture of that custom car?
I was sitting in my car in the middle of the street and I took the picture.
Yeah, but look, that's a custom car, man.
That's crazy. Oh, no, that's just a bad picture.
I know, it's a Google picture. I know, it's a double take, but it's, anyway.
That's a good
Receipt.
school, Caesar, I
They run a really nice place.
don't service them no more because I'm not in that area.
And they have another one that's coming before you guys. That's a real headache.
Yeah,
We've
no, I'm
been
in-
dealing with it
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah,
So-
that one is.
So you like that
It's not
receding hairline?
coming next.
Esa
It's,
esa escuela está bien mantenida. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
If it would be a bad school, I would tell you it's.
So,
Okay,
miscellaneous items not requiring advertising. Item number 12, old business. Okay, no old business. Item number 13, new business.
new business. I would like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a
Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
Gobble, gobble.
Many
a safe holiday and enjoy it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Same for you
All right,
and everybody else.
and
Happy
you're done.
Holidays.